JoJo Siwa's bad girl era is being called out for flopping and her being fake, she just admitted why she's done this, and it's super telling.
Tell the haters to fuck off!
Did you all hear the one about JoJo Siwa stopping her New York City show to yell at a fan who dared to boo her?
JoJo Siwa has officially hit a new low in her disastrous rebranding. JoJo has now taken it upon herself to insult and verbally attack fans who dare criticize her or her music. Y'all, JoJo has been in the headlines a lot as of late, but this time many feel she has taken her bad girl era too far this time. So Luvs, join me today as we look at why the internet is saying that JoJo now hates her fans.
The show looked great, but one person boos her and she stops the show? Say it with me, y'all, because I am cringing with secondhand embarrassment. JoJo, have you learned nothing?
Y'all, by now we all know controversy isn't anything new for JoJo. It's like the worse the drama, the more JoJo wants to be involved in it. However, this time she might have taken it a little bit too far. So JoJo was performing her last Pride Show tour in New York recently, and it was supposed to be a huge deal for her. This was the first time she did something like this, and even more importantly, this was supposed to be the huge ending to Pride Month that she was hyping up all month long. Now, as expected, JoJo took to the stage and all seemed to be going well until someone who wasn't quite enjoying JoJo's music started to boo her. And that's when all hell broke loose. Now, for an artist, booing is just part of the job. And most especially given that this event wasn't JoJo's, but rather she was just one of many artists performing that day, so not everybody in the crowd was going to be a JoJo fan. Y'all, I am not hating or anything, but if literally any other artist was in that scenario, they would most likely just ignore the person booing and focus on their fans enjoying the show. But not JoJo Siwa, no. In fact, JoJo did the opposite.
And she literally lost her marbles for a little bit, and you just gotta see what she said.
Who the living just booed me? Where the did that come from? Which one of you? Which one of you?
She stopped the show and demanded that the person booing to reveal themselves. And when she didn't see the person, given that it was a crowd, JoJo began hurling insults and even showing the middle finger.
Respectfully, you.
Luvs, talk about an ego. I mean, I get being angry that someone would boo you while you were trying to do something that you liked, but stopping your show and going out of your way to try and find them and cuss them out, maybe it's just me, but that's a little bit too excessive in my opinion and not in a good way. But y'all, the drama didn't even stop there. JoJo later continued on with her show only to do one of the most shocking things. Luvs, it is so shocking that I can't show you the actual clip because it's been taken down so much on social media for a violation of terms of service. Now, someone in the crowd threw a bouquet of flowers to JoJo on stage. JoJo then proceeded to take out one rose from the bouquet and she stuck it down her pants. Ew!
And then after this, someone threw a bouquet of roses up on the stage. She put one in her mouth and then put it in her pants and stuck her tongue out like this. I know that she's trying to do this like whole Miley Cyrus bangers era rebrand. I get that. And like, this to me is a little bit too far.
Anyways, throughout her entire performance, she randomly stuck her hands down her pants. Oh, and did I mention that this was a family event? Parents had come out with their entire family to enjoy their concert, only to see JoJo stick out her tongue and do some of the most lewd things imaginable.
Bitches, there is a 6-year-old right there. Why the f are you here?
This, however, is far from the first time that JoJo has done anything like this. A couple of days before her New York performance, JoJo was performing in LA at Pride in the Park, and JoJo decided to give the worst response to her haters online. She was dropping a lot of F-bombs while she was on stage. At one point, she asked for a bottle of vodka and just began chugging it right on stage. And after that, things just got weird and inappropriate. In the spirit of proving her haters wrong and showing the world that she's an adult, JoJo began doing some highly really inappropriate stuff while performing. At one point, she began touching herself in questionable ways, even going as far as putting her hands in her pants. By the way, that's not even the worst thing that she has done on stage. While performing in London, JoJo stopped performing in the middle of her set and went on a 15-minute rant about all the hate that she's been getting online since she released Karma. JoJo even took things a step further and started hurling explicit insults at all her haters, all because she was in London and claimed it was appropriate for her to use those words.
They're gonna talk. We're in England. I can say this word because they're sassy. Woo! I say, write your own songs. That's not even you singing. That Emeline song is amazing. And you know what I said to those? I tell them to hold the motherfucking drama.
During that long rant, sections of the crowd could be heard booing JoJo while she was speaking. However, the boos weren't particularly loud because most of the people seemed to be extremely bored at that point and couldn't be bothered to care about what JoJo was going on about. Luvs, to worsen the situation, despite disrupting her performance, many people noticed JoJo wasn't even singing her songs. All she was doing was lip syncing, and not well at all. At some point, I think she forgot she was supposed to be lip syncing and put her mic to the side while she performed, and the song just kept playing with her voice.
I need someone to let me know why JoJo Siwa's in the music industry, because this video from her first performance proves that she's not able to sing because the whole thing is lip syncing. Watch this. Like, she's not even trying. And like, the mic is just a prop. Okay, and so this part comes up and you think, okay, she's actually singing, right? But then literally 5 seconds later, she stops singing and her voice keeps going.
After her horrific performance in London, JoJo got seriously trolled online, with many people questioning whether or not she should even be doing music. People even brought up the fact that during her rant, JoJo had been using some references to her old songs and nobody seemed to get it. Now, I think we should have all noticed after the London performance that JoJo doesn't really handle people not liking her very well, because in LA, she went on a serious rant about her haters. She said, "You guys aren't the online. Not going to lie, I have to deal with a lot of them online. I woke up this morning and, as one does, I opened my phone and the first thing that came up was a picture of me performing back when I was in London a couple of days ago. Some guy, I stalked his page, he was definitely straight. This guy commented, and this was a new comment for me. It wasn't about a dance that I do, it wasn't She started bashing the crowd for not being loud enough while she performed. Both JoJo's concerts were a total mess that when The Independent did a review of her performance, they said this: Siwa spends what feels like half her allotted time talking about her haters and her one-time army of 12-year-old fans. It's a bit of a calamity, but Siwa's energy, a mix of uber-precise choreography and haphazard chaos.
Y'all, check out this clip of JoJo Siwa boring the audience in England with her rant, which took away half the time of her minuscule 15-minute set. Meanwhile, the audience, crickets.
Cussing people out while on stage, sticking her hand down her pants, people are slowly getting sick and tired of this new bad girl JoJo. Just take a look at some of these comments. JoJo Siwa is acting the way children think adults act. She literally wants to be 2013 Miley Cyrus so bad. I don't see bad girl from JoJo. More like someone how trying to prove that she's bad. I literally thought this was planned. The way her dancers were reacting made me feel like it was rehearsed, and realistically, they knew someone would boo at some point. It felt forced bad girl. Is this how she was around the XOMG girls? If she lashes out like that at fans, imagine if she lashes out at the XOMG Pop girls at even the smallest mistakes.
I've learned that no matter how I'm feeling, I have the power to make
others feel a certain way.
You guys, JoJo's basically imploding on stage over one person booing her has caused people to express their concern for her pop group XOMG POP because of all the traumatic things that XOMG members have allegedly been going through at the hands of JoJo, their manager. XOMG had their debut tour beginning at the same time as JoJo's Pride Month tour, and let's just say JoJo decided to focus on herself instead. She didn't share or even talk about anything related to XOMG POP despite forming the group and being their manager. It's no secret that JoJo has an enormous amount of followers compared to XOMG, so a shout out from her would have done wonders for their tour. Now, because of this, XOMG's first show was a complete flop with barely any fans turning up, and those who did weren't very enthusiastic or vocal. Now, besides the first show being a disaster, there seemed to be more going on behind the scenes than people first thought. After the show, pictures of XOMG's living conditions while on tour started going viral, and this had a lot of people concerned. First of all, they were forced into tiny and cramped tour buses with horrible amenities. Some pictures even show two of the members squeezed together on a seat trying to get some sleep. To make it worse, while the XOMG were forced to sleep on a tiny bus, JoJo Siwa was busy flying, probably first class, all the way to London just to stop her show and insult people. Now, when we last covered JoJo Siwa's mismanagement of XOMG, many people have reported that in certain cities, the Siwas canceled the shows without offering any form of notice or explanation. People have turned up to the venues only to be told the show was canceled, and on the XOMG socials, nothing has been addressed, and the group has continued to promote its other shows without offering any form of apology or explanation. Now, that situation has gotten even way worse, because now it's reported that JoJo has canceled the remaining shows on the XOMG POP tour, basically ending the entire thing, and the worst thing is that no explanation has been offered by JoJo or for all the cancellations. And you might argue that there may have been logistical issues or something, but for a long time now, rumors of XOMG mismanagement by JoJo have been swirling. According to a former member, Leia, during her time in the group, JoJo Siwa was completely different from what people see on TV. In fact, she was completely different to the XOMG members. She was nasty and basically a dictator. It was basically her way or nothing, and it's alleged that JoJo used to hurl insults at the XOMG members during performances. And apparently, she created a toxic and cutthroat environment even after the cameras were turned off. She even started pitting group members against each other. Rolling Stone even spoke to a couple of sources involved in the making of JoJo Siwa's reality show, and they reviewed contracts, texts, and emails. And it turns out that the consensus is that JoJo and her mom basically lied to Leia and the other members of XOMG POP, promising them this path to success only to turn around and exploit them just so they could get a show out of them. Y'all, it shouldn't come as a surprise now that JoJo has started lashing off at fans during her concerts, and her fans are starting to reciprocate the hate that JoJo is showing. Now, just recently, JoJo announced her upcoming EP, Guilty Pleasures, all over Instagram. Because of her freak out in New York, people were less than pleased to hear this. Just take a look at these comments after JoJo made the announcement. They could never make me like you, JoJo. JoJo, stop, please. Not again, please. Just to clarify, nothing about this is my guilty pleasure. Nothing. Y'all making fun of her, all I'm thinking is how it's sad she's going down the same path as Miley. Y'all don't realize she's been acting like a kid her whole life. She's probably going through it. Loves, what do y'all think about JoJo's bad girl era? Is it all an act, or are we seeing JoJo fall off in real time? Now, don't forget to check out my other videos to ensure that you're up to date with all the latest tea. Till next time, bye loves!